Good morning and a very warm welcome to day 2 of the 28th RegTech convention here in Frankfurt. Let me again say welcome, and as usual I would make the start of day 2 by introducing the day. First of all, a retrospective followed by an outlook. And it's also been a bit of a tradition that I'll be introducing this day in German again, and things will be interpreted simultaneously into English. Another nice tradition we have. And I'm happy to spend the next 15 minutes or so, first of all with a retrospective, but this time the content will be a little different. As you may have heard, either because I contacted you or because you heard through one of our customer advisors, or perhaps you found out through the social networks or from the press, I've taken the decision that after almost 28 years, I will embark upon a new challenge, which means I'll no longer be the CEO of Regnology, but pass that duty on from November. And let me briefly explain what motivated me to take this step. I believe that when you've spent so many years working on something, there comes a time where you have to embark upon something new. A lot has been achieved, and for me, the timing has been right to pass the responsibility on to somebody else, a tried and tested team and a very experienced manager who will introduce himself. When it comes to my retrospective, this will also feel a little different compared to the last few years, where we essentially focused on one subject only. What I'd like to do now is take you with me on a journey that covers more than a quarter of a century. And it's with pride that I look back at this time. That is because I've been able to go through all these steps with the company. And I can legitimately say that all 28 RegTech conventions and also previous conventions I attended. Everything started with an idea, and that was in the 90s, reporting was to be digitalized, moving away from paper-based reporting, from pen and paper, pocket calculators, typewriters, and then sending information out by post. That was the basic idea back in 1994. This turned into an international company. It turned into the regulatory value chain, but more on this later, in a minute or so. What you see here is a number of highlights of that journey across a quarter of a century on one slide. It all started when KPMG thought in 1993 about rethinking reporting. And the end of that journey, at least for me, was in October 2021, when the company was rebranded and called Regnology. Ultimately, this journey can be summarized in 3 major chapters. The early years, between 1994 until 2001, then the growth stage, achieving market leadership in the German-speaking countries, that was between 2002 and 2016, and independence, if you want, or the spin-off, from 2017 to this year, 2021. But let's look at some pictures, because a picture says more than words. And what you see here is the Abacus team in 1994, outside the building of our first customer, Citibank. And actually many of these faces, many of these people still work in this area of financial reporting, regulatory reporting rather, and some of them are still part of our Regnology team. On the right-hand side, you can see a day trip as a team. That's because the team spirit and closing ranks is a spirit that characterized us very much. And let me show you something. This is the Abacus price list back in 1994. In May 94, more specifically, with the KPMG logo at the time. This is what it looked like. What's particularly interesting is when you look at page 2, then you can see that there is an international price list as well, where the expansion was planned, prices for modules, where they didn't really know what all the effort and expense will be to introduce them. The journey continued then, from Abacus to Abacus Fire. New products were developed in Switzerland with Filetex. The team began to grow, and so did the number of customers. And at the end of 2001, we had more than 60 customers. For the very first time, we also became attractive for large corporations as customers because we were able to process larger volumes of data. And then the journey continued, the growth phase, between 2002 and 2016. When you look at the pictures, there were two major highlights. First of all, strong growth, and second, a very strong development of the user meeting that then turned into the RegTech convention. And I am proud that this year more than 2,500 participants have registered for the convention that has now become very much international, with renowned international speakers and known far beyond the borders of Germany and German-speaking countries only. These years, we are market leader, both in Germany and in Austria and in Switzerland. There is one product that's a case in point for this development, Abacus Da Vinci. And when I did my bit of cleaning up and tidying things up, this is what I came across. This is the first prototype of Abacus Da Vinci from May 2003, as early as that. Until it reached production maturity, it took more than a year. Nevertheless, this is ultimately how it all started. On we go on our journey. The next few years until 2016, or these years until 2016, with all their successes, showed one thing. Bearing Point was an excellent company to develop this business. However, the more we turned into a software vendor, the more we needed to change our structure. And that is how the decision was developed, not only by the management of Regnology, Abacus, Fire, but also Bearing Point itself, the decision that it was in the interest of the customers and in the interest of continued growth and prosperity of this business, a different shareholding structure was needed and different options and levers for funding the business were needed as well. And that gave rise to the idea to spin that business off. And that is the third chapter in this journey. RegTech as a standalone entity. It was in November 2020, almost exactly 1 year ago, that Bearing Point sold the business to Nordic Capital, the private equity company. And it's been 1 year now since we've been working under a different owner. And we have achieved a lot in that period. This year, that is 2021, saw the focus of finalizing structures, building our own infrastructures, making sure that the business along the regulatory value chain was strengthened and expanded, in particular with a combination or in a combination with Visor software in Dublin. And last but certainly not least, taking the last step in October, which was the rebranding. turning the company into Regnology. When you look at the photograph, you can see Conor Crowley, the CEO of Visor, and myself after the closing, after it was finalized. And you can see the new logo on the shirts of Regnology. This is how we had our picture taken, smiling for the camera. Now, what's the current status? We are Regnology today, and Regnology is an international software vendor with more than 750 employees in 12 different countries. We are on a sound footing, a strong position, and we now stand at the beginning of a new chapter of the success story for regulatory technology. We still remain true to our vision, though, our vision and our mission that we had pursued in the past. And we've always taken this mission and vision very seriously, and still are. We stand by this for the future as well. Both the regulated entities and the regulators are to be brought together in the field of regulation. And we ensure stability and more transparency for financial centers. In the future, this is a responsibility that I'll continue to subscribe to, but in a different capacity, as senior advisor for Regnology. And with that, customers, I'd like to conclude by saying thank you. Thank you for the trust you have placed in me across all these years and decades in projects for the software. That made me the person that I am today, and that is what characterized my professional career very strongly. And I'd like to express my deepest gratitude. And I deeply regret that the pandemic means that for the second year running, we cannot meet in person in this beautiful room in Frankfurt, because I would have loved to share this with you in person, being assembled here as a few thousand people and not having to tell this to a camera, essentially. However, I won't bid you farewell without adding a request as well. And as you know, and as you remember, I've always been requesting things, asking you for things. For example, I can remember this one. Please take part in our customer satisfaction survey. And please forget about the German mentality. And our NPS score clearly went up, so 6 is not good enough. So here's my plea for next year. Please continue to place the same trust that you have placed in Bearing Point and Regnology and the entire team and me for many years. Please place this trust equally in the future CEO, Rob Mackay, and his team. He certainly deserved it as much as I hope I did. He's a renowned expert with a track record of more than 20 years in financial services. And he can rely on the same strong teams that I have relied on. Renowned experts in regulatory and tax law and software development. He will make sure that the company will continue along its professional trajectory and the continued successful growth of Regnology, which of course is very much in your interest as well as our customers. Let's stay in touch, please. And now, let me ask Rob to please join me on stage.
This was my stage, my living room, so to speak, for more than 2 decades. Here I have announced good and bad news. I wish you, the team and Regnology, all the best for the future. Manage the business well and successfully, and I'm more than confident that you will do so. Please, Rob, it's now your turn.
Thank you, Jürgen.
The stage is yours.
Thank you, Jürgen. I want to welcome everyone to the 28th RegTech convention. I want to thank Jürgen for that very kind and insightful introduction. I want to thank our speakers, our attendees. We have a record 1,500 registrants for this convention. And I want to thank our partners, in particular Bearing Point, IFB, Define, and the Frankfurt School of Finance and Management for their support of this wonderful event. The last 18 months have been a huge adjustment for all of us. We've had to adjust to living under pandemic conditions with COVID. We've had to adjust to working from home, and we've had to adjust to conventions like this being held in a virtual format. I want to thank our conference organizers for the seamless way in which they have switched into a virtual mode, and for the professionalism they have shown in doing so. This 28th RegTech convention is our strongest and best attended yet. I applaud the team for everything they've achieved. The last 18 months have also been a transformational adjustment for the Bearing Point RegTech business, and in 3 main ways. The lift out of the RegTech business from Bearing Point, as described by Jürgen, with capital from private equity firm Nordic Capital. The acquisition of Visa, that substantially, Visa, the leader in provision of supervisory technology to central banks and financial regulators. And thirdly, the change of CEO that you see happening just here. And I would argue that all 3 of these are very natural events in the evolution of the business. Let's take the first, the lift out from Bearing Point. What Jürgen Lux achieved with the RegTech business within Bearing Point was truly remarkable, and I pay huge credit to him for this. To get a business off the ground from €0 of revenue to 1 million euros of revenue is a huge achievement, but he didn't just stop there. He took it on to over 100 million euros of revenue with nearly 800 staff in 10 countries. That is a huge achievement. However, within the ownership of a professional services company, a technology firm will always sit somewhat uncomfortably. There are different priorities. There are different cultures. And so it was entirely natural for the RegTech business, as it then was, to go its own way. In particular, to be able to secure greater levels of investment than it could within Bearing Point. Similarly, with the acquisition of Visa, the RegTech business served, as Jürgen described, both financial institutions and the regulators, and was committed and remains committed to the transparency between those 2 groups. With the acquisition of Visa, the leading provider in the supervisory technology space, with many dozens of central bank and regulatory authorities as clients, it means that the combined business is both a powerhouse in the supervisory or subtech area, but also in the provision of regulatory reporting solutions, tax solutions, and others to regulated institutions. So both of those have clearly been good for this business and achieving scale. And I would say watch this space when it comes to further acquisitions. There is clearly an opportunity to produce a scale provider of regulatory technology, of supervisory technology solutions, and that is our mission here. So I think you'll see more announcements in the months and years to come about acquisitions. And finally, a switch of CEO. It is an immensely difficult task to get a business off the ground. What Jürgen did, taking this business from an idea within KPMG in the mid-90s through to a scale provider here in 2021 with 800 staff out of a number of offices around the world is again extraordinary. But it's a different set of skills when it comes to then scaling that business to have operational maturity and to scale it up to the next level. And so all of these stages have been very natural steps in the evolution of Bearing Point RegTech into Regnology as it is today. And again, my credit, my thanks to Jürgen for everything he's done. It has been truly remarkable. 2021 has been a year of delivery for our clients. And let's start with the banking business. We have acquired new customers and we've grown into new markets. I'll give you a few examples. Clearstream decided on the Abacus banking and Abacus transaction solutions for the majority of their regulatory and transaction-based reporting in Germany and Luxembourg. Clearstream had already decided to implement Abacus 360 banking in Singapore. And in addition, Clearstream and Regnology develop a solution to cover reporting obligations for the new tax regulation TRACE. It is interesting to note that Clearstream is a new client that we took from one of our legacy competitors. And that is a theme you will see, is that Regnology is increasingly taking clients from legacy competitors who rely on older tech stacks in which they tend to underinvest. The clear strategy for Regnology, and we're backed up by our owners, Nordic Capital, in this, is to invest both organically in new teams and expertise and inorganically in bringing in new capabilities through acquisition. We have had continued success in the UK with Revolut. Revolut decided to extend the use of Abacus 360 banking solution as it faces new regulatory requirements in the UK. Revolut already relies on the innovative regulatory reporting solution since September 2019, when it selected Abacus 360 banking with a managed service offering for EBA and ANA credit reporting. In total, 3 additional modules have been taken. I apologize for relying on my notes here, but being somewhat new, you'll understand. The UK statistical reporting module, the EBA solo reporting modules, and the EBA consolidated modules are now being added to the solution to meet requirements imposed by UK regulators with regards to PRA, EBA, and BOE statistical reporting. A theme that you will see with the business we're winning is that we are taking business actively from legacy competitors who are failing to invest in their solutions. Other examples, in the Netherlands, Rabobank, a number of you may be aware of this, signed a deal with us for regulatory reporting plus a managed service solution. This is a big area of growth for us. Increasingly, our customers are coming to us saying, can you host host our solutions? Can you run the solutions for us so we can lower the total cost of ownership? We have firms like Pictet of Switzerland and Standard Chartered, all moving from our historical legacy competitors to Regnology solutions. We have expanded our geographical footprint over the last year. As you know, we have long had a strong footprint within the DACH region, within Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. We have expanded significantly in new markets like the Netherlands and Luxembourg. Just recently, we have brought a team in for Iberia, and we have achieved our first successes there, and you should expect to see a number more. In 2022, we'll be focusing investments on 2 new markets, expanding into France and the UK. And so you will see news of those as we progress. All of this hard work on delivery has not gone missed by the awards providers. We've won a number of awards in the year. We won the Risk Technology Award 2021, where we were given the Regulatory Reporting System of the Year by Risk Magazine. And secondly, the Chartis Risk Tech 100 2022 rated us as a leader and moving up 6 places within those rankings, which was great. But not all is perfect. Not everything we do is great. And we recognize that within the banking business, our clients continue to be challenged with issues of performance, of software quality, of documentation and support. And we recognize those issues. We have plans to address those issues in 2020. In 2020, within the banking business, we also, as I'm sure you're all aware, have a large challenge in the form of the migration to Abacus 7. This migration is one of the 2 top priorities for Regnology within 2020. In 2021, we've already achieved the first successes with Abacus 7, and some of our customers are already using the new platform for various reportings. Our goal is to migrate the vast majority of our customers onto Abacus 7 within 2022. And our top priority has always been enabling our customers to report on time and with quality. And to that end, we will continue to support Abacus Embedded through the migration period until the end of Q2 of 2023. We will also, as well as the migrated functionality, we will deliver new reporting requirements within Abacus 7, such as ESG and various new country specifics. And in the banking stream, our product managers will go into far more detail about all of this, so you can get all of the specifics there. Moving on to the supervisory or subtech business. This business, we have combined the newly acquired Visa business with our Abacus Regulator business to create one large single business run by Visa's CEO, Connor Crowley. We've had a number of wins and go-lives within the year. The Australian Prudential Regulatory Authority, their ARPA Connect went live in September, offering a modern platform for granular data collection and data transformation. The South African Reserve Bank, as part of the South African Reserve Bank's digital transformation program, Visa and Datacentrics were appointed strategic IT solution delivery partners for the Prudential Authority. This project to build a strategic supervisory platform for the PA was initiated in April 2021 and is in implementation phase. In Sweden, the Finansinspektionen, which always tests my pronunciation, went live on June 30th with the new generation of Abacus regulator. With Abacus regulator, Finansinspektionen ingests regulatory reports from more than 300 banks under the EBA framework for DPM versions 2.10 and 3.0. and from 11 insurance companies under the national IORP2 framework. Again, our subtech business has been recognized with a number of awards. The FinTech and Regulatory Global Awards 2021 by Central Banking. We won the Data Management Partner for regulatory compliance. In the RegTech Insight Awards Europe 2021 by the A-Team Group, we won the Best Regulatory Project of the Year. And finally, in the Chartis Risk Tech 100 2022, we won the category for supervisory technology. And we're very proud of all of those successes. In the future, what can you expect to see from our subtech business? Two big areas. Number one, flexible adoption of the cloud. And number two, a focus on the collection and processing of granular data suitable for artificial intelligence and machine learning applications. Moving on to our tax business with the products FiTax and EasyTax. Some stats for you. And again, I need to check my notes here. This year again, nearly 100 banking groups successfully filed their tax returns for more than 3,200 legal entities and more than 250,000 end customers. We are celebrating the 20th anniversary of our regulatory tax reporting solution, FiTax, which was created in 2001 in Geneva. We're proud to say that we still have our very first customers as clients and that they have added numerous modules over the years. On both products, we've initiated our migration to the cloud, and we have our first customers operating our tax solution from cloud environments. Again, we have received awards in these business. The RegTech Insight Awards APAC by the A-Team Group, we won with both EasyTax and FiTax. And we'll continue to expand our already impressive country coverage, which right now extends to over 140 jurisdictions. Next up, Abacus Transactions. We launched and extended our new module for the derivatives reporting for the Monetary Authority of Singapore. And secondly, we rolled out new functionality, the reporting quality checks, which are making life easier for our clients to maintain high quality standards within their reporting. What can customers look forward to in the future? The big deal here is the EMIR refit, which is coming in 2023. This will be the big game changer in transaction reporting, and we will launch our new EMIR refit module in 2022 to support customers through that go live. Finally, on the insurance business, we achieved two new areas of regulatory content. First, the pan-European pension product reporting, and secondly, the national funds reporting for Sweden. What do we have on the roadmap? EIOPA proposed the new Solvency II requirement based on Solvency II Review 2020 as part of Taxonomy 2.7.0, released in 2022. The update requires significant changes in Pillar 3 reporting for Solvency II, but also on the side of all European insurance and reinsurance customers. Our customers can rely on our software to handle those changed Solvency II requirements. A last area I want to cover in terms of deliveries in 2021 is our managed service business. We serve 75 clients already in our managed service business, spanning banking, transactions, and insurance. This includes over 200 customer systems, nearly 1,900 reporting entities, and over 1,500 users from our customers. We processed over 30 billion data sets and archived 44,000 reporting dates. We executed over 9,000 batch runs and conducted 2,000 system upgrades within the year. We processed 11,500 tickets and conducted over 150 regular service meetings. The managed service business is a very fast-growing part of our business. The logic behind our managed service business is very clear. We outsource from our customers the hosting, the management of hosting infrastructure, and the management of our applications. And in doing so, we save our customers considerable amounts of money and significantly reduce the total cost of ownership. If you aren't already talking to our teams about these managed service solutions, I urge you to do so because they will significantly reduce your cost of running our infrastructure. So we've made a lot of good progress in 2021, but as I referred to earlier, not everything is perfect. And that's why I'm here. But before I talk to you about my plans for 2022, let me give you a little bit of background about me. As Jürgen referred to, I have nearly 30 years experience within the financial technology space, specifically capital markets technology, asset management. I've been involved with businesses or run businesses, everything from real-time trading systems through enterprise trading and risk systems, enterprise risk systems, theoretical valuation of exotic derivatives and structured products, and the whole gamut of a lot of asset management and capital markets technology. I've worked in big firms where I get to see the benefit of their global scale and their operational maturity. I've worked in small firms where I get to see their ability to move in a very agile way and their extreme focus on customers. Most recently, I was CEO of trading technology firm Itiviti, also part of the Nordic Capital portfolio. And in Itiviti, we created value through two main ways, both of which I believe are relevant here within the regulatory technology space. The first was a relentless focus on customers. And you see this through repeated interactions with all of the senior leadership of the firm, through the creation of a dedicated customer success unit, and ultimately through the provision of far greater levels of service, quicker ticket resolution times, quicker delivery of hot fixes, and better quality software. The second was through prolonged investment in our teams and our solutions, particularly in markets, as we see in financial technology, where a lot of firms are withdrawing investment, particularly the larger firms or firms which are going through challenging mergers, as one or two of our competitors are. So those are the two big things, the two big experiences from my past is the importance of investment in improving service quality over time, and the relentless focus on customers. When I look at some of the challenges we face, one of the big challenges is in the area of supporting our customers. We see this in the customer NPS, or customer satisfaction scores, where we hear from our customers that many areas could be improved. Our service could be improved. Our software quality could be improved. Our performance could be improved. Our documentation could be improved. One of the first structural decisions I've made is to create a standalone customer success unit that is led by one of my colleagues we'll meet in just a moment, Sarah Anderson, who most recently was the COO of the Visor business. It is no surprise that a firm that didn't have a dedicated customer success unit did a poor job of providing customers with support. And so with this new business in place, I very much expect that we'll be in a much stronger position to support our clients, and you will see that in outcomes as better service, quicker resolution time for tickets, and ultimately better, more stable software. And the second distinct area where you are going to see improvement is from me and the rest of the leadership team of Regnology. I will be very customer facing. I already have meetings lined up with a number of you, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of you in the coming weeks and months. I urge any of you who don't already have time set up with me, my details are being shared as part of this presentation, so please do contact me directly. I'll be delighted to set up time and come and meet with you. But first of all, given our renewed focus on customer success, given how important this is going to be to the future success of Regnology, I want to introduce you to Sarah Anderson, former COO of Visor and the new head of customer success at Regnology. Welcome on board.
Thanks, Rob.
So I thought it would be good to get to know Sarah with a few questions. So first off, Sarah, tell us a bit about yourself and what you used to do at Regnology.
No problem. So my name is Sarah Anderson. I've worked in Visor for the last 4 years or so, with responsibility for professional services, support, and R&D. Before that, I've worked in various roles in business operations, and the start of my career would have been quite technical. Would have worked in large multinationals in quite a technical capacity in telecoms. So not far behind you, probably 25 years out of college at this stage.
Very good. Tell me this, a lot of people use the term customer success, and in different businesses it's implemented in different ways. What do we actually mean by customer success?
So what we mean by customer success really is adopting a customer-first focus, and that really means listening to our customers. So what we really want to do is we want to understand what our customers are trying to achieve and then proactively helping them to achieve that. So it's a shift from a reactive kind of support, which I would call the hygiene factor, to a proactive understanding of what our customers are trying to achieve, helping them achieve it. But also, if you think about the customer journey, their experience with us, it's about really understanding that journey, understanding how it is from the customer's perspective, and really understanding how we can do a better job.
Very good. And what are the goals of your customer success organization?
So really the goals for me would be to drive customer-driven growth and customer satisfaction. A customer that's having a really positive experience with us, they're going to stay with us, they're going to buy more from us, and they're going to refer us to their peers. So really that whole experience has to be a positive one from end to end for our customers.
What kind of activities will your team be responsible for?
So we're going to really shift to a proactive framework. We're going to look across the life cycle and really understand that customer journey from sales and marketing, onboarding, contracting, through to going live and that life within the support window, and just understand what's working well, what's not working well, and proactively look to, I suppose, unite the business, unite the leadership team behind the objective of really improving those outcomes for the clients.
It's interesting you talk about uniting the leadership team here. Clearly, the creation of your group has an impact on the rest of the organization. So how does it affect the rest of the other teams? Where are you getting your staff from, and how does it affect the rest of the business?
Well, really, the activity at the minute is to identify within the organization all of the different people who've been working for the customer maybe in this capacity, but without the title. So really to centralize that group of people so that we can do it more efficiently and we can be more effective. So once we do that, then we really want to, I suppose, understand our role in uniting the rest of the team. And when we identify the pain points, when we identify the areas of improvements, we will go back to the business, we'll go back to the various departmental owners, and we'll work to build better outcomes with them. So really it's a partnership. Everyone within the organization, more or less, I feel, works in some area of that customer journey, between sales, marketing, professional services and support. We're all working for that same objective of the customer outcome. So it's really shifting that from internally, how do we see the client, to actually, how do the clients see us, and how are we performing across that journey?
So how will you know if you're having an impact? How will we know if you're having an impact? And actually, related to that, what does good look like here?
What does good look like? Well, really, we're going to have some kind of leading indicators, and then there'll be some lagging indicators. The leading indicators, we're going to obviously be tracking the Net Promoter Score and our customer satisfaction. I mean, that really is, for me, the key KPI that we will be tracking and we'll be measuring over time. We're also going to be looking at, I suppose, across that life cycle, what the key KPIs are that we're measuring. So, for example, how long does it take us to get a proposal? How easy is it for us to contract? How long does it take to onboard the clients? How long do our KPIs take within support, for example, fixes? And then to build out a trend over time. We should see those numbers coming down. We should see turnaround times improving. So it's going to be a data-driven approach, as well as then getting feedback from the clients. So it's all very well for us to have identified across the business all of these KPIs, but we want to continually talk to the clients, to continually ask them, how is your experience? What can we do better? What ideas do you have? And really understand not just their experience, but their outcomes. If they're being successful and we can show that we're helping them succeed, then that's the measure for us for success.
Final question here for you. I know within Visor you've built a very automated process that leverages lots of tools, lots of technology. Without naming names, because obviously it's very early days, can you talk a little bit about the sorts of tools you'll be looking to deploy to improve our customer success?
Absolutely. I mean, what we do, what our clients do, it's quite complex. I think, we know that, and there's no quick fix. What we're looking to do over time is really help our clients become self-sufficient, really help them self-serve. And that's going to involve building out knowledge bases, building out online training academies, identifying where the pain points are. And really, my goal is to build a prioritized backlog that really speaks to those pain points, and then working to solve it in a scalable way with technology. So I have a team working on a backlog as we speak.
Wonderful. Sarah, thank you very much for this.
Thank you.
One commitment I'm going to ask for you is I'd like you to come back to this exact place in a year's time, so our clients can hold you to some of these promises and look at the progress. But I think we'll be in much better shape by then.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's it, folks. You're going to see a big focus from Regnology on our customers. You're going to see a big personal focus from me on visiting all of you and understanding the issues you face and the challenges you face, which are multifarious, and helping you solve those challenges. You're going to see the investment dollars that we get from our private equity house, Nordic Capital, enable us to bring on board new teams and new acquisitions, and on the back of that, expand and provide better service and up our game. I thank you all for your continued support of Regnology, for your continued support of this 28th RegTech convention. I hope you enjoy the rest of the agenda, and I look forward to meeting all of you over the coming weeks. Thank you.